What's up, Internet? My name is Attack Slug, and welcome to my Monday Night Raw reactions for the week of January the 11th, 2016. Gotta get that right this time. 16, where I talk about what happened during Monday Night Raw this week. I know, it's Wednesday. These are the things that we deal with each week. Anyway, open the show with another, 10-minute video recap. What is their obsession with Roman Reigns and the Authority and these overly long video recaps? They are obnoxious. My attention span is longer than you think it is. I don't need that much recap on what happened last week on Raw. Anyway, we cut to our live show, and you have the entire roster on stage. Somebody died, I guess. I don't know. They're all on stage, and then out comes Vince and Steph. Now, the two things that we should note here is that, A, apparently the New Day were dancing like crazy to No Chance in Hell, and I don't think the cameras caught much, if any, of that, but I heard about it from people who were there at the live event. Also, Damian Sandow, apparently back in his robe as the savior of the unwashed masses. Face, heel, who knows, but back in his robe, that gimmick was great, so fingers crossed. Third of all, Zack Ryder? Yeah, okay, sure. Anyway, Vince and Steph come to the ring to talk about, what's going to happen in the Rumble and Reigns defending his belt in the Rumble, etc., etc. They kind of tease some, hey, maybe you'll get it done this time, Dolph Ziggler. Just real dick moves. We know it's not going to be Ziggler. He has a history of concussions, whatever. How about the New Day? And, that kind of stuff. And there's some booty shaking, etc., etc. And then as they are, kind of doing that stuff, then the lights go down. Lights go up, there's Bray Wyatt standing on the announce table, and then kind of the Wyatts hanging out, and he kind of goes over the, hey, I always said, anyone but you, Roman. There is literally no way that they planned out that anyone but you crap last year to have it all get wrapped up in a neat little bow for the Royal Rumble. They are not that forward-thinking with their storylines. Come on now, that shit was coincidence. Anyway, this all sets up our main event tonight, which is the One versus All match. Kind of reminiscent of when they had John Cena and Randy Orton fight the entire Raw roster a couple years back. But it's going to be Roman Reigns versus All. And I'll get into that when we actually get into the main event. But the one part here that bugged me is that all of their signage and their mention of this match concept was literally Vince McMahon's version of One versus All match. And I'm I can't recall them ever doing a match called the One versus All match. So how is this Vince McMahon's version of it? What other version is there? Anyway, that Reigns will not get any help from his buddy Dean Ambrose because the magically appearing Sheamus hits him from behind, and guess what? We're having a match. That's the first match of the show. Is Dean Ambrose versus Sheamus, which is, a Raw match, and ends with a double countout, which I'm never fond of, the double countout, etc., etc. But the significant part of what happened in the match was, kind of at the end when they're getting counted out, and Ambrose is ramming Sheamus' head into that solid steel ring post. Busts him open right here, hard way. He is just gushing that blood. And that's always kind of wait, what? Blood on Raw? This is a PG show. And then, of course, out comes Owens to attack Ambrose because he wants back his Intercontinental title. Furthering that feud, we get a backstage bit with the McMahons. And Paul Heyman is in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, his name is Paul Heyman in the building. And they're kind of going, hey, you said Brock was going to be in the Rumble, but I don't think he's going to be because Brock wants his match at Mania to fight the winner of the Rumble, whoever that happens to be as the champion, because if you recall, Brock did not get pinned to lose that title. Seth Rollins pinned Roman Reigns. Anyway, next match of the night is Stardust versus Titus again. And I will say what I said last week in that, hey, I like Stardust. I like Titus, and I think their backstage stuff has been a highlight of the show. Them having matches? Not really. Whatever. But the winner of this match was Titus, and the most amusing part of this whole exchange was after he wins, going to that hard camera section, you know, where kind of these people here in front are sitting on the hard camera, which is usually, you know, like relatives, people, you know, like who got the comp tickets. And yeah, that's you know, when they're sitting on the side that's not on facing hard camera, when they're sitting on that soft camera or whatever side, that's all, you know, family and friends and, you know, those kind of things. Anyway, he goes over there and picks up a little kid, I guess, who was at ringside. This kid decked out in John Cena gear, and the kid wants no part of whatever Titus is doing. He's just kind of like, just like staring at the camera like, I'm not going to do anything. Like, you know, when they got those tickets 6 months ago, that's about usually how long it takes to get, you know, like, hey, Raw's going to be here in 6 months. You know, 6 months ago, that kid was super excited to see his hero, John Cena, at Raw in 6 months. And guess what? John Cena, he's hurt. He's got a shoulder injury, not there. That kid had to be so, like, well, here's Titus. That kid doesn't care about Titus ONeil. Come on now. Anyway, after that whole weird exchange, Stardust attacks Titus after that match, and whatever. Anyway, moving on to what set up this match. Xavier Woods in your fucking chair. Moving on to what set up this match, we have the highlight reel with Chris Jericho looking his douchiest, wearing a jacket, no shirt, and a scarf thing. Like, he's getting face pops, I guess, but he's like totally in this very much, that is shit that a heel would do. That is shit like that Batista would do in his heel phase. You know, just looking like a complete douchebag, wearing his fucking sparkly ass jacket and a scarf and no shirt. Anyway, Chris Jericho, speaking of things that a heel would do, Chris Jericho, bringing up, finding the one person on the internet who thought that Rudy Tooty Booty was funny. Because trust me, Jericho, everybody else thought it was fucking garbage. You found the one person who tweeted, "Oh, that was hilarious." No, stop. Chris Jericho in WCW was a brilliant heel and did brilliant stuff. Chris Jericho, modern day Chris Jericho, has realized what The Rock has realized, that you can fucking baby talk and this crowd will chant it back. It is the lowest common denominator fucking bullshit, and I hate it, so fuck that. Anyway, speaking of folks who are tired of that shit, out comes the New Day to, you know, be mad about it, and that stuff. And honestly, having Jericho in it's making me not like New Day segments, because having Jericho in them it's making me sour, you know? So that brings out the Usos, and you shouldn't give the Usos the mic because they're not very good at talking. The one bone of contention here, the one thing people got mad about, was when Chris Jericho called the Usos his back of the bus boys, and everyone's like, hey, that's kind of fucking racist. Not everyone listens to your goddamn podcast, Chris Jericho. They don't understand that guys who are in the back of the bus on wrestling tours are the guys who are staying up late. Guys in the front of the bus are the ones who are sleeping, because they are responsible adults. So he meant that on those tours and house shows and whatnot, on the buses that go to international shows, they're all in the back of the bus, you know, playing cards, drinking booze, etc. That's what he meant. But doing that on live TV, it doesn't translate, Chris. It doesn't translate. Anyway, that moves into the Usos versus the New Day in a match, whereas I guess there aren't any other tag teams. Like, Sin Cara's hurt, Titus is doing single stuff, like, you know, Cesaro's doing hurt. Like, what other tag teams? Like, The Ascension? No one fucking cares. So, you have your tag team champions taking a non-title loss to, you know, I guess the supposed challengers. Although they're all going to be in the fucking Rumble, so whatever. The most significant thing here is that Chris Jericho broke the trombone. He broke Xavier Woods' trombone. Why would you waste a broken trombone spot on Monday Night Raw? That is some pay-per-view shit. What are you doing? And then that's what, you know, caused the distraction and the roll-up and the victory. Anyway, JBL's in the ring to announce that Sting's in the Hall of Fame. Like, that got announced on Twitter before the show. So, hey, we need to sell tickets to the Hall of Fame, which are on sale this Friday. So therefore we have to announce somebody for the Hall of Fame. That's the only reason that should happen. But hey, it's Sting. And Sting literally had, what? He fought Triple H, lost. He fought The Big Show, and won by disqualification. And he was in something else, and then he fought Rollins and lost. So he's like 2-1 or 1-2, something like that. It's not a good look. Anyway, that's the Hall of Fame. They've put in guys who've done almost nothing in WWE before, just because of what they brought to the business. So I don't have a problem with that. So we'll see who else they announce for this year's Hall of Fame. One would imagine being in Texas, the fabulous Freebirds would be in this year's Hall of Fame. But we'll see. Anyway, the Wyatts are in the ring, being the Wyatts. And out come the Social Outcasts. And to refresh your memories, the Social Outcasts are Heath Slater, who is the one-man band, baby, Adam Rose, Bo Dallas, and the Axeman, Curtis Axel, who had all their own like nice little T-shirts that they made those. Those aren't going to be a shop zone thing. They made those shirts because the back of the shirts had their names and their Twitter handles on them, and that was weird. And so they wanted to have a match with the Wyatts. This is significant for one reason, and that is it was a match that featured Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt, who are brothers. First time that's happened so far. Anyway, match kind of didn't happen because out comes Ryback, who's pissed off about the Wyatts attacking him last week, and then they clear the ring, and surprisingly they clear the ring, and Ryback and the Outcasts are standing tall. So that's kind of a weird alliance. Now, not too weird because both Ryback and Heath Slater were in the Nexus. So, Nexus Bros. You're either Nexus or against this. Nexus for life. Where is Wade Barrett? Anyway, that moves us on to an actual match, which was Callisto versus Alberto Del Rio for the U.S. Championship. They had a match on SmackDown that Callisto won by whatever. I don't watch SmackDown. And then this match pretty much was all Del Rio just whipping ass. And I think they realized, hey, John Cena is not coming back to get his U.S. belt any fucking time soon. So guess what? We're going to put the belt on Callisto in a surprise victory. Had a U.S. title change on Raw. Hey, it's shocking. Hey, cool. With Sin Cara hurt, you can do a singles push for Callisto. They wanted a new Mysterio. Here you go. Here's the part where I spoil SmackDown. If you don't want SmackDown spoilers, skip ahead about a minute. He loses it to Del Rio on SmackDown, which airs tomorrow. So, yeah. I'm guessing a third match, or a fourth match, at the Rumble? But they're both going to be in the Rumble, right? Right? I don't fucking know. Anyway, very short title reign for Callisto, winning it on Raw and losing it on SmackDown. Anyway, the next scheduled match was Charlotte versus Brie Bella. And here is your tag team finisher, the big ending. Will there be a 3 count? 1, 2... No 3 count. Alright, this is a long match. Anyway, Becky Lynch doing the thing, like, if you were not previously a fan of Becky Lynch, you should now be a fan of Becky Lynch. She saved you from watching a Brie Bella match. To me, she is now the biggest face in the company. Anyway, she attacks Charlotte, and then the match doesn't happen, and then Ric Flair decides that, hey, no, the champ can't compete now against Brie Bella. We're leaving. So, that's fine. That is some heel shit to happen. That's okay. My only complaint here, and this is my biggest complaint here, is that there was zero acknowledgement that I saw. There was zero acknowledgement that the referee in that match was Charles Robinson, a.k.a. Lil Nate, a.k.a. in WCW, Ric Flair's personal referee, and the reason why Charles Robinson's hair is still dyed blonde. And they didn't even acknowledge that, even the littlest bit. Like, the history between Ric Flair and Charles Robinson, there's a huge history there. They didn't even just... Come on. That's just me, though. Anyway, main event is the 1 versus all match. And this was not all the guys standing on the ring, which is I would have hoped to be. No, it's all the heels come out. Chris Jericho, stop interfering. all the heels come out, stand next to the ring. Vince and Steph are there next to the ring, and it essentially is Owens and Reigns having a match for a little bit until they go, oh no, have other guys go in, and they all start beating down Reigns. Like, there was no actual, like, they didn't properly utilize this match concept, this Vince's version of one versus all, because there was no pinfalls here. It was just, hey, we're going to beat down Reigns, whatever. And of course, that brings out your boy, Brock Lesnar, to go boy mode on everybody that he could possibly get his hands on, which is great, right? I thought it was weird that he came into the ring and the New Day was happy to see him, considering that when Brock fought Kofi in Japan, he totally just annihilated the New Day. So that's weird. They should have been like out of the ring first fucking thing, right? But he attacked all the heels that are, because it was all heels there anyway. He attacks them, and then he attacks Reigns, gives Reigns an F5. Wow, it was a long match. Gives Reigns an F5, and of course the takeaway here is that Reigns is like smiling at the end, like, oh, I didn't even hurt, blah, blah, blah. The same shit he was doing at Mania, and I hated it at Mania, and I hate it here. I hate smiley ass Roman Reigns. Just be a tough guy. Just be a badass. Like, that's all I'm asking. It's not much, really. It's not hard to do. And that was the end of Monday Night Raw. So, I always like seeing Brock. I think Brock's not a face. Brock's not a heel. Brock is just Brock. And that's fine. That works for Brock. So, we got the briefest glimpse of an interaction between Brock Lesnar and Kevin Owens. And I could theoretically see Kevin Owens screwing Brock out of the Rumble victory and then having Owens versus Brock at Mania. That could happen. I could see it happen just a little bit. But hey, that remains to be seen. So, that is my Raw reaction for the second Raw of 2016. I am Attack Slug. This video has gone on way too long. And I will see you next time, right here on this channel and every day for new videos and whatnot. So until then, until next time, I'll see you next time, right here on this channel. And I'm going to jump cut to the ending here. And I am out. Bye.